Yo, what is cracking, people? It's Killer B. Viper v Licks on Arabia. Chinese v Chinese squaring off here. Ought to be a fun game. Do like the Chinese civilization. Start off with the zero food, but you get 3 extra vills, so it's all good. Immediately, players will research Loom. You can see the Viper here a full 8 seconds faster than Licks, identifying that he's Chinese and grabbing Loom. So props to him on that. Viper will have a slight advantage here in the time to start this one off. He won't have very much of an advantage in the ratings. If you look here, both players coming in the 2,300 and change ratings here on Voobly. Okay, cool. Well, thanks for joining me. If it's your first time on the channel, welcome. Much love. Thanks for being here. See the blue player Licks on the left side of the map. Looks like he will be, he'll be having a pretty darn nice map, if you ask me. It's pretty wallable in the back corner here. This wood line's not very thick. It's not going to be arrow-proof, right? Towers or archers behind it would be annoying. But it could be a nice piece of a wall. Berries on the back, gold on the back. A pretty easily wallable area here. Might be difficult to take this stone if he does wall it out. But nonetheless, a very, very safe closable map here, which I think will have at least one nice wood line and one nice gold for the early game. Okay, so I like Licks' map. Let's see what's cracking on the Viper side. Actually, let's just see. Licks is not going forward with the scout. Nothing too crazy early on in this game. Viper playing in that beautiful Viper gold that he loves. He deserves the gold, I suppose. Looks like he'll be establishing a wood line on the back corner. That is not going to be easily wallable, but something he might be able to protect as long as he owns this hill. He should be safe over there. Berries on the front, stone on the front, gold on the front. A little bit of an annoying map. More stone, more gold, a little bit away from the TC. Everything is out in front of the TC. I could imagine this side getting walled up. No real thick wood lines. All in all, not the greatest map. I think he can manage it, but I wouldn't really prefer this map if I had the choice. At the moment, we're seeing the Viper with 3 vills on wood. Looks like the next vill will go out to grab a boar, so he's going to go for some aggression in the feudal age or in the castle age, probably in the feudal age. Licks on the other side will have 3 on wood as well, but his 4th vill's going over, and you can actually see that discrepancy in the beginning of the game. Viper clicking Loom 8 seconds faster. He's still 8 seconds ahead. I mean, he's going to be a little bit quicker through the Dark Age here. We'll see if it matters. Looks like, at least for now, though, Licks is going to keep open the option of drushing, putting on some form of feudal pressure. Anyway, players scouting around the map. You can actually see Licks here is forward pretty early with his scout. Must have found his resources right off the bat. He's going to find the Viper's TC, and right away he's going to start circling around that TC. I think he probably sees this chopped down tree, and he's going to identify pretty much where all of the Viper's resources are early on. You can see Viper's scout still searching around the map. I'd have to think at this point that the Viper is thinking about how he's going to protect the avenues on this map in the later game. I don't know if there's resources left that he's looking for, but he did pretty extensively scout this top corner. Maybe he's thinking about somehow protecting that area of the map. Okay, so for the moment, we work our way through the Dark Age. I suppose we can do this at a slightly elevated pace, since, you know, nothing too crazy is probably going to happen. This Phil is going out to grab the boar. She's loomed up, of course, because of the Chinese civ, but, man, that is going to be a nice long lure. She's going to get some good cardio. Uh-oh. Viper taking a couple extra shots there. Looks like he did identify it in time and should get home safe. But he's going to make it a little bit closer than I think it probably needed to be. Busy microing other things, I'm sure. It looks like that villager's going to be perfectly fine. Licks continuing to scout around that wood line. Oh, sweet Jesus, that Vill really was dancing with the devil. But 10 HP, she's totally fine. Viper on the other side is going to find Licks' TC with his scout. He's going to take an arrow or 2 to that scout, but he's going to basically avoid losing it. He's going to circle around. Licks here using that first house pretty nicely. This will create a nice block so that in the future, the Viper's armies cannot circle behind the TC. That is incredibly important. You're going to get raided in most games that you play. Don't let your opponent raid you at will. Create some barricades. Make them walk by your TC, you know? Anyway, for now, we're working our way through. Looks like Viper's scouting just kind of started. Licks has done a really nice bit of scouting. Couple pair of glasses here. Basically, he knows everything about his base and everything about the Viper's base, and that is about it for now. Lick staying a bit forward. That's interesting. I don't see a barracks yet. At the moment, we are on 21 vills for Licks, 22 for Viper. I still just think that's a discrepancy in speed. Looks like the Viper will be... He's actually about half a villager ahead of Licks, which is pretty impressive. But he will click up the feudal, and I think Licks will as well. Blue player here not putting up a barracks, not taking 10 extra gold, still on 50 gold. Not really a great opportunity to drush. He's scouted forward really nicely, and I think he has an idea of what's going on here. And I think he's making the right decision to go feudal. But you can see it's going to be about it's 21 seconds for the Viper. 21-second advantage on the same vill count with Loom. That is just better micro. Interestingly, Licks is starting to go forward. Viper might have just seen those villagers going by. Not quite sure. Didn't catch it live. But interestingly, the blue player will come forward to an area that is pretty accessible. One tower here in the middle would both annoy this gold pile and the berries, and that would really cripple the Viper's eco. 4 vills coming forward, couple of wolves getting involved, but it looks like Licks will deal with those fairly quickly. The Viper is still circling around on his side of the map, which makes me think that he didn't quite see those vills. Hard to tell as it was unfolding in front of my eyes, but he didn't react and follow those vills like you might often do. Viper power building a barracks on the front with 2 vills, probably guarding against Licks' scout being forward. Feudal Age coming in for Licks. Licks will drop a barracks immediately and continue to roll forward. Scout on scout action. Looks like the Viper and Licks going at it. Pretty similar scout HP, but the Viper's got a couple of vills nearby, so he's going to push Licks away for now. Archery range coming up immediately. 4 vills on gold. It's got to be double range archers, one would think. Licks here does seem to have the drop on the Viper, who hasn't scouted this forward yet, and is going to get pretty darn surprised. One really difficult thing here for the Viper as he tries to wall across the front here is that his archers are probably going to be countered by skirms from Licks. I would think, usually when you're forwarding and towering, it's going to be skirms, it's going to be trash. You don't really have the ability to get the gold eco going. You got those 4 villagers forward. And that's really not only going to counter Viper, catch him by surprise, but it's going to help Licks get a tower or 2 up in the face of some archers. So I'm liking it so far here for the blue player. He's going to have to choose a good spot for that first tower, not taking any stone for the moment. Is going to go double range blacksmith in the front. This is a pretty all-in push, because if he loses this forward area, he's going to have to walk units all the way back across the map to defend against the Viper's aggression. In the meantime, we do see Licks kind of quick walling, not quick walling, but walling up his side. He's going to palisade himself in. Rather predictable. I think we could see, and probably the Viper could see after scouting this map, that this is a really wallable map. And Licks here is going to do a good job. Probably could have flared out this way with that wall if he wanted to, but what am I talking about? Why am I micromanaging a player who's 10 times better than me? Why? Why, people? Anyway, it looks like the Viper Scout is in. He's going to get a little bit of info on his opponent, but he's probably going to notice that there isn't anything inside of Licks' base. He's also going to notice these skirmishers who are starting to chuck these, javelins at a couple vills. +1 damage on those, so they can eventually, somehow, someway, kill a vill. Does take quite a lot of time. Licks here is going to house up a bit of the Viper's wood line, keeping as much annoyance as he can on him. That's going to lame half of this wood line. A couple more houses, a couple more palisades would be really, really annoying. Viper is transitioning his lumber camp to the back. He's also got another lumber camp on this side. The yellow player here has walled in some of that flank and should be relatively safe. But the problem right now is that Licks' first tower is a doozy. It is a Duesenheimer. He's going to drop a tower right in the front there. Ooh, no he's not. He's going to get even more ballsy, and that's going to give the Viper a little bit of time to build his own tower. I don't know. Licks has quite a few skirms here. If he targets these vills down properly, he can deny Viper's tower for a little while here. Got to get good at clicking on all those vills. Licks is doing a pretty good job. Only 2 vills, 1 vill building at the moment. So it looks like Licks' tower will probably go up first. Yeah, it's a dead heat. Both towers popping up at the same time. Looks like the Viper will get out of there without losing any vills, as will Licks. Lix's first tower here was perfectly fine, and he deleted it and then walked it over and dropped it again, and I think that time difference kind of is the difference between him catching the Viper with his pants down and giving the Viper time to tower. Nonetheless, the yellow player here will lose a Vil. He'll be about a Vil and a half behind, I suppose. Full skirms for both players for now. Looks like the Viper is sending his archers forward. He's trying to get through Lix's walls if he can. But at least for now, those archers aren't doing much. Actually, this archer has just figured out that this wood line is not thick enough to protect these Vils. Lix has got to be careful here. I know he's microing pretty hardcore on the front and trying to tower. He is taking stone somewhere. Yeah, he's taking stone here on the corner with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Vils, 7 Vils going over to stone. What is going on, Lix? Looks like 6 Vils on stone, and there's not really enough space even for the 4 of them. They're all cobbed up and bumping into each other. Lix has got to get his act together. Viper's got 5 on stone as well. He's going to be waiting with his own tower. He's going to catch Lix before he finishes his tower, and he's actually going to kill a Vil in the process. Nice job by the Viper there to keep targeting the Vils and not the stone tower. So Lix controls that forward hill in the Viper's base. He is having to walk skirmishers all the way across the map. But at least for now, he hasn't been hit too hard. He's 3 Vils ahead of the Viper at the moment. Looks like another tower coming now from the blue player. Still wants to take possession of this gold and the berries. That's pretty much where the first tower was. But we saw Lix delete that tower and move it closer, and I still think that was a bit of a deflating moment for him here in this tower push. So far, it's looking like the yellow player, Viper, who's a couple of villagers behind, is actually defending pretty nicely against this tower push. He's a little bit behind on food. He does have extra stone in the bank, so we will see the Viper drop more towers if he needs to. Might go ahead and trade that stone. Let's see if he drops a market here sometime soon to click up to castle a bit later on. So for now, Lix is just going to mine his opponent's stone. He's going to continue to pump out skirmishers. Viper grabbing wheelbarrow as we speak. He's running across the map from Lix's skirms. Ooh, skirmisher down to a wolf there. Actually, the wolves creating a nice little smoke screen, giving Lix an opportunity to get a couple of javelins lobbed in there. But the Viper will turn his army around and Lix will retreat. But, you know, for now, the Viper's really not getting in. It's going to take him a bit longer. Lix's wood line here is getting really thin. I think he should transition to this back one if he can. This front one is getting sketchy. He's going to put a tower up on top of this hill. That will protect that corner. But, you know, this area is going to be the same issue very soon. So Lix needing to possess a little bit more map and get a safe wood line going. For now, wheelbarrow coming in for Lix. It looks like he'll be 6 Vils ahead. A couple of those Vils are because of the wheelbarrow upgrade that the Viper did a little sooner. And for now, we watch these guys chase each other around the map. I guess what's really important at this point is who's going to get to castle first. The Viper is getting awfully close. Lix is getting pretty close as well. And they both need to get out of this age. Neither player is going to deliver a knockout blow. Lix, for now, has done a really nice job to annoy the Viper here. He's dropped this tower that takes away 3 different resource piles. You gotta love that. He also controls this gold pile for the most part. He has controlled it for the most part. And he's taken away a wood line. You gotta give him props on that. But at the end of the day, Castle Age is coming soon, and this big army of skirms is probably not going to be worth very much. Probably time for Lix to try to see if he can throw a few of those skirmishers away. Trade them for something. Walk right under the TC, if you ask me. I think at this point, I think we're going to see a stable from the Viper in a couple of nights. And we're going to see those skirms go down full free. Viper clicks up to castle. Lix will be just a moment behind. If we look at his TC, he's not queuing any more Vils. He's clicking up. Lix will click up. He's still going to be, he's going to be awfully close to the Viper. 4 Vils still on stone. Blue player thinking about a castle, I would suppose. He does have a couple Vils forward. He's going double stable on top of this hill. Oh, I love it. Lix right here is going to just go ahead and do what I think the Viper should do. He's going to do it before the yellow player does transition into a couple of knights. Double stable knights coming. This is really interesting. The Viper will go with one stable for now. His resources might suggest that he wants to build a second TC. He's certainly going to keep that stone for a moment. See what the plan is here for the yellow player. He's towered himself up a bit. Skirmishers have worked their way in. Viper is going to defend with towers for now, but this is going to cripple his eco. And we all know how arrow-resistant skirmishers are. So at least for now, I feel like Lix has the Viper over a barrel. Viper is going to build a scout. A little bit of a weird... Sorry about that. Some sort of weird lagginess for a moment. Bloodline's coming for Lix. He's got everything that he needs now. He's got an army inside of Viper's base. Annoying Vills, idling Vills, even though these skirms are getting a lot of arrow fire. Throw them right into the arrows, man. I'm telling you, they're just not worth much once you get to Castle Age. Loving that these skirms are being aggressive. Lix is going to push them into a corner for now. Maybe he'll go Elite Skirm here, but he is definitely going to be able to go double stable knights. Viper's got one stable, knights on the way, tons of food in the bank. Must be thinking about another TC here. Looks like that TC is going to go somewhere in this area, I suppose. Man, the Viper is just getting so thoroughly raided by Lix. I love this play. Lix is throwing these skirms right into the fray. F it, man. They are really not worth much. Idle as many Vills and do as much damage as you can. He's got the Viper in a great spot. Viper at the moment is not anticipating these knights, and this is going to be a real backbreaker. There is maybe still a chance that the Viper can win this. He's got enough towers and series. He's got enough TCs. He'll have 2 TCs. He's only 5 Vills behind, but he's lost a lot of gather time. He's going to have to be really effective with arrows from these TCs and towers. Looks like for the moment, Lix is going to play right into the Viper's hands. He's going to attack Viper's knights right under this TC, taking so much arrow fire and damage. Does have bloodlines, does now have +2, but he's in a bit of trouble. You can hear the Viper starting to produce some camels here. Nice counter unit. Still idled Vills running around all over the place. Gotta love that for Lix. But at least for now, the knights are not that effective. Look at this Vill. Just going to go ahead and palisade himself in. You can't get to me. You can't see me. Look at the Viper on stone right now. It looks like about 10 villagers on stone for the yellow player. Definitely must be thinking about getting a defensive castle up. You know what would be a good place for it? Somewhere in this screen would be really nice. He's got to win back his main gold. You can't live forever on secondary gold. He definitely wants to win back his stone. He wants to win back this gold pile. Castle drop somewhere in this vicinity might be coming soon, and I think that would be super, super beneficial to the Viper's chances to win. Anyway, for now, it looks like he will be on 52 pop. At the moment, he's got 5 military. Lix only with 8. Lix is a little more aggressive. Viper going to a 3rd TC. Lix does have 2, so he's not going all in on this push. Bloodline's on the way for the yellow player. A horse collar coming in for Lix. Oh boy. Seems like a little bit of a late time. Siege Workshop coming down. The push is going to continue. It's going to be double stable knights with bloodlines, +2 defense. Blue player here is going to start to push on his opponent with some siege. In the meantime, the Viper will be scouting around with a knight. He had a couple of camels. They must be still here in his eco somewhere. Got a monk out to grab some relics. Yeah, it looks like the camels are circling around the long way. I like this from the Viper. I think he has to get an idea of what Lix is doing. Lix is doing a great job to keep his army hidden in that fog of war. The Viper doesn't even know that Lix is double stables right now. Maybe he can surmise it from the number of knights that he saw. But that's really, really nice play from Lix. Not going to let the Viper know anything for sure for free. Going to make him earn everything. In the meantime, the Viper is earning quite a lot of stone. Lix on 480. He is slowly but surely working his way up to a castle. But he'll have a 3rd TC coming down first. No camels converted for now. Camels and knights kind of skirmishing in the middle of the map. Looks like the ram train is rolling out of the station. Looks like the blue player is going to go straight for this range. Maybe going to start to take down some of these free buildings in the shadow of his tower while he can. I like that play from Lix. He's going to go with 1 ram for now. Not going to overinvest, I suppose. Actually has quite a lot of resource. Maybe thinking about a castle and thinking about Imperial Age in the not-so-distant future. Viper, on the other side, has the stone he needs to drop a castle in it. I think the location of this is going to be really, really important. I'm not even going to speculate where the best place would be. I already did that. But let's see what he chooses, since the Viper is the pro, and see if we can understand why. See if we can see where he puts it and why he puts it there. For now, he's just going to hold on to that stone. He's got 800 in the bank. Is he dropping another TC? Just saw 100 go down. Yeah, Viper will drop another TC on the top of the map. Okay, here come some villagers. They seem to have that look in their eye. Where's the castle going to go? Villagers coming forward en masse. Couple of monks, a bunch of camels. Viper is ready to make a push at Licks, and in the meantime, while those units are fighting, he's going to drop a castle. Licks is going to get a castle on top of this hill if the Viper's not, if he's not careful. But just one villager building that castle for now. Viper's going to send forward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, a 9th and maybe a 10th vill on the way. Camels getting converted. It sounded like the Viper got a couple conversions, but in the end, or rather, Licks got a couple conversions. But in the end, these knights are quite busy. Camels are doing a pretty good job to clean them up. Castle is starting to go up, but there is a knight already picking away at those villagers. 2 stable knights still cranking out for Licks. He's going to actually have free reign for a couple of seconds here, and he's going to get some vills for free. Licks is not even going to bother with this knight. He is going to end up killing that knight. That is unfortunate. Could have disregarded that knight, I think, a bit longer and gone for the vills, but the castle goes up. Viper's going to garrison it. He's going to have a ram rolling forward. And for now, he's stabilized his eco. Hugely important castle. The fact that Licks just had 1 vill building his really opened the door for the Viper to stabilize his own eco. There is a shimmer of hope, guys. The Viper here could still win this one. He's 2 villagers behind. That's not too bad. He's not going to be imp anytime terribly soon. Licks is going to definitely have an advantage there. In addition, Licks will have killed several buildings here on the front with a ram, and he will control this area for a bit longer. The Viper's castle on this hill is nice. It's going to take a lot of these buildings away from Licks. It's going to protect rams while they knock them down, and it will give him a safe gold pile. But at least for now, Licks is still going to control. He's going to lord over a pretty sizable part of the Viper's eco. Licks will drop a castle a little bit further back, right in this corridor. It's a really interesting position. I don't really like it that much, to be honest. I thought it could be a little closer, but that's a really interesting spot. He's definitely going to choke that bottleneck. No way the Viper's running through that area. If he's going to circle an army through this, he's going to have to walk around a slightly longer path. Anyway, for now, Chukonu roaming out. At the moment, they are not very heavily upgraded at all. Bodkin Arrow on the way for Licks. Gold Shaft Mining on the way. Maybe starting to think about transitioning to some archers. Chinese have nice knights, but they're not the greatest. You can't go to Paladin, so, you know, no reason to dump all your resources in unless they're working really, really well. We've seen the Viper going with camels in defense already, so I think Licks is a little reluctant to fully invest. Interestingly, Licks does have a clandestine ram out here on the front. A ram and a monk just slowly rolling into the Viper's base, putting some heat on. 5 villager difference at the moment, not a big deal at all. Not a big deal at all. Looks like the Viper's rams will get cleaned up for free. His army is nowhere to really be seen. 10 military units, but I really don't know where they are. A couple Chukonu, I suppose, on this side. A couple of camels. But for now, Imperial Age clicked for the yellow player. Blue player is already up. Licks will pump out a Treb. He will build 2 more stables. Wow, I couldn't have been more wrong. He's going to keep going into knights. He will have, for the moment, Bracer on the way, Cavalier on the way, so he's going to beef these knights up quite a lot. Looks like it will be 3 stables for the blue player. Super heavily invested into taking stone right now. Maybe thinking about more and more castles to control more and more map. 4th TC up. Both players on 4 TCs right now. Let's see, what are we thinking about here? trash units for the late game. Chinese get full trash except Hussar. They get the full blacksmith upgrade, so that will be really nice for them. No hand cannon, no bombard cannon, so it is kind of tough to chop through some of that trash, especially something like skirms if you go into Chuko Nu. Viper going to roll in with another castle, a little bit closer this time. Nice quick house there to make the knights run just a little bit further. Chuko Nu will garrison. Look at all of the arrow fire these knights are taking. I love it. Viper here is going to take a knight down, and that's going to be it. Just one knight. But he will eventually hold that side. Cavalier is now in. The monks now from Blix not going to be terribly useful against these Chuko Nu. Viper's got 2 castles up, his Imperial Age is on the way, and maybe he can start to produce some trebs, and maybe he can catch up to Lix, who's got 2 trebs on the bottom of that hill. Fighting uphill against the castle for now. We'll see how that one goes. Lix with a castle drop on the other side. Interesting location. Not really that effectual of a castle. I mean, it's going to eventually knock down these walls. And he can maybe start to treb down the monastery here in that 1 TC. Suppose it will do for now. Viper repairing his castle as we speak, trying desperately to pump out a couple of trebs here and get back in the action. It's going to be Chuko Nu versus Cavalier. Obviously, the Cavalier number here is really high. Chuko Nu number for Viper is actually really low. He's having to use his castles to produce trebs to catch up to his opponent. And that's going to give Lix an opportunity to run in here. He's going to be hailed with arrow fire from 2 different castles, but he can run in and snipe both of these trebs easily. These Cavalier are awfully tanky versus arrows. Looks like at the moment Lix will have +6 damage, or defense rather. He's going to get the trebs for free. He's eventually going to knock these castles down. The Viper's running out of stone to keep repairing them. In the meantime, Lix still controls this gold pile and stone pile that the Viper probably needs. Let's see what his eco looks like. Yeah, look, he's on 17 gold left in that pile. He's mined out all of his stone as far as I can see. He's just desperately clinging to this area, which is soon going to be lost to trebs. Nice game from Lix. The forward absolutely worked. Dropped double ranges on the front, went full skirm. Viper went into archers. We saw Lix's towers not work the greatest, but he did take away a wood line and eventually got a tower up to take this whole area away. And therefore, Lix will win game number 1. Lix, guys, taking a game from the Viper. Gotta love this Lix player. Gotta love it. Anyway, I'll be back with game number 2. Check that out. I'll be posting that tomorrow, assuming you're watching this in real time, which you're not. But nonetheless, thanks for tuning in. Catch you guys all later. This is Killer B. Much love. Bye.